What's up, everyone? Welcome to This Day in Philly Sports History for October 6, 2024. I'm your host, Jim Montgomery. Welcome to a Sunday edition of the podcast, a non-Eagles game day edition, a Red October edition. Could this be the last Red October edition of the year for us? I don't know, man. After last night, that was rough. They wasted, absolutely wasted, a complete and total masterpiece by Zack Wheeler last night. The bullpen imploded. The offense was non-existent. And honestly, I feel as though it's the biggest fear going into the postseason. All of it came true last night, which not good at all. And it's a shame because Zack Wheeler was lights outstanding, and it wasn't even close. And then, I mean, guys that usually are good, Hoffman and Strom, nothing. Basically everybody but Schwarber was non-existent. You cannot have that, and I think that ultimately is what we were worried about, and it came up. Hopefully we can chalk it up to the layoff and the fact the Mets were coming in hot with momentum, and I know that they all hit the batting cages last night, so we'll see. I know they were complaining about the shadows, but at the same time, I don't know. Both teams are playing in it, and I kind of wish they wouldn't have said that, because now if they weren't already, they're going to be focusing on that. I don't think it's time to panic yet. Have to see how they come out and respond today. If they're ever going to respond and ever going to kind of show what they're made of, today would be the day to do it. Christopher Sanchez is on the mound, and putting a new Philly spin on this. If you think about it, a lot of times we've even been talking about some of those NLCSs from the 70s where the Phillies won the first game and then the Dodgers came back and won the next three in the best of five. So I'm not ready to hit the panic button yet. Talk to me around 6 p.m. tonight. Maybe I'm having a different story, but it's just the scary part is this is what we feared. And I think you could have maybe overcome the offense struggling a little bit if the bullpen was solid or vice versa. But the fact that two of the three factions of your team did not do well, it's concerning, because this is was the fear. I'm going to chalk it up to the layoff. I mean, although the Dodgers came out and were on fire, so we'll see what today brings. And again, I don't want to panic yet. They win tonight. Everything will be fine. I said this series was going 5 games anyway, so I'm not in full panic mode left. You go up to New York with a split. You win one more up there, and then pray that somehow the offense is awake for Game 5. Christopher Sanchez today, though, like I said, I like it. I like him at home. I like the fact that he just had a baby, so he has that sort of added extra little oomph and energy, which is not a good showing. And it was disappointing, and I'll take some responsibility. I know, you guys know I talk about superstitions all the time. Watched the first 5 innings here at my house wearing a Bryce Harper jersey. Made the switch to go to a block party because my Chase Utley just fit a little bit better. I will not do that today. I will go back to the Bryce jersey and just do what I need to do there. So if you believe in superstition, I will take responsibility for that, because it all went downhill after I changed jerseys. So I apologize. Some quick housekeeping notes before we get into the rest of the episode. Follow me on social media, Jimbo_Mont, Twitter and TikTok, at Philly Jimbo on Instagram. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, Jimbo_Mont, and spread the word. If you're enjoying this, that means likely somebody else is, or somebody else will as well. So just let your neighbors, friends, family, people at football, baseball, soccer, whatever sport you're playing, let them know and spread the word as we continue to grow this thing. If you want information on the Philadelphia Sports Hall of Fame induction ceremony for this year in November, all of that is in the link in the description. inductee bios, ticket information, everything you need, your one-stop shop for the Philadelphia Sports Hall of Fame. All right, let's recap yesterday's question of the day. And I asked you, who do you got? Phillies, Mets. 74% of you said Phillies will win this series. I still think they're going to win. Not timed, like I said, to panic. I thought it was going 5. Doesn't matter what combination we get there. It's going to go 5. Relax. This is the new Philly. We're trying it. It worked a couple years ago, so let's continue to have that good positive vibes, positive energy, and will this team to a victory today. But that does lead us to today's question of the day. Will the Phillies bounce back today? 267-495-8531. That will get you into the Back to the Future voice and text line. Let me know your thoughts. You're feeling a little nervous. Get it off your chest. This is therapeutic, safe space. Get it off. Vent. Scream if you have to. Just call and scream if that's going to make you feel better. 267-495-8531. That's the Back to the Future voice and text line. But will the Phils bounce back today with Christopher Sanchez on the mound? Let me know your thoughts. I think they will. I think they have to. I think there's too much at stake. I think this team has too much pride, too many goals, too much that they will bounce back. They're not going to allow a repeat of yesterday. And then truthfully, it's panic mode if they do. So this is as close as you can get to a must-win game in a non-elimination scenario as you can get. But I do feel they will bounce back. Philly Goat still has you covered for all your Red October needs. Go check them out. Had so many compliments on the fans yesterday at the block party. People will be looking, I'm sure, to buy them. And they have any kind of shirt you can imagine that celebrates Red October. So go to phillygoat.com. Use the promo code Jim Montgomery for 10% off your order. That's phillygoat.com. Promo code Jim Montgomery to take 10% off of your order. All right, sticking with the new Philly theme, trying to look for positive so far this season with the Eagles. And I'm going to go with Brandon Graham. Brandon Graham seems to have found the fountain of youth, was close and contemplating retirement, but wanted to get to the 15 years. And by any stretch of the imagination, he's probably been their best interior lineman. Rusher, like anybody that's not Quinyon Mitchell, or Zach Bond, he's probably been the best defender on the team. He's played 49% of the snaps, which some of that is out of necessity. Some of that is due to the fact he's been playing well. That's the most amount of snaps that he's played since 2020. He has one of the Eagles' 6 sacks, 2 of their 13 quarterback hits. And really, through 4 games, the only consistent guy on that defensive line, and he's the oldest guy. So you got to love it when BG steps up and really is the leader. He's kind of going out there and leading by example. Now, if the other guys can step up, BG could be a key piece if this team is going to put together a run. But like I said, trying to keep things positive, focused on the Eagles as we're in the bye week. But Brandon Graham has been a bright spot on that defense, getting it done. Old guy, vet guy, getting it and showing these young guys now they need to go out and do it now. He's giving them the blueprint. They just need to go out and implement the plan. Be sure to check out my boys at the Clash and Conferences podcast, wherever you get your podcasts, as well as on YouTube. They're doing great things over there. Baseball, football, basketball will be kicking off soon. So go check them out. Available wherever you get your podcasts, as well as on YouTube. I tend to pop on them every now and then, so I'll let you know if I'm going to be on anytime soon. Union. Playoff hopes are on life support, losing 3-2 yesterday out in Columbus. Columbus has been a nemesis for them this year. They're not officially done, but they're going to need a lot of things to break right for them. I'm not sure how the rest of the MLS schedule is, but the Union doesn't play again until the 19th, so they have some time to get right. Hopefully there's some games in between there that'll allow some of those things to break right so we can get a clear picture. But it's one of those situations where they need to win, this team needs to lose, that team needs to lose, this team needs to score this many goals. It's a mess, but tough one for the Union last night. Tough one for my Temple Owls last night. I kind of had an eye on this game during the Phillies game as well. They lost to UConn 29-20. They had the game won. They were down on the goal line with 3 seconds left. They were attempting a tush push. They were down 3. They were going to take it in and win the game, and then fumbled it, and UConn took it back 96 yards or whatever it was for a touchdown. Brings me back to the old school days of Temple football when they would find every game was an interesting, more ridiculous way to lose, and that's what happened yesterday. Wasn't a good day for my Michigan Wolverines. Phillies lost, Union lost. Just put it behind us. We move on. Today is a new day. And then Sixers ended camp yesterday. They'll be back in Philly, I believe, today. They have the day off, and then they have I guess it would be considered a preseason game. They're playing a team from Australia on Monday before they open up their NBA preseason. But Nick Nurse is loving the positive vibes. The team bonded. They have a lot of things going right for them, and I know. Just new Philly. This time it's going to be different. Lucy is going to keep that football down this time. I'm going to kick it right through the uprights. But looking forward to that as well. All right, today we're going to combine our Red October Great Games in Phillies postseason history with our This Day in Philly Sports History, because on this day in Philly sports history, it was Game 1 of the 2010 NLDS, and that just so happened to be our Red October game of the day. Phillies were the two-time defending National League champions. They finished the 2010 season with 97 wins, the best mark in baseball. They were taking on the Cincinnati Reds at Citizens Bank Park. And what fans got that day was an absolutely legendary performance from Roy Halladay, who had already pitched a perfect game earlier in that season. Other than a fifth-inning walk to Jay Bruce, who would happen to be a future Philly, by the way, that was the only blemish on Roy Halladay's day. He went all 9 innings, struck out 8 on 104 pitches to pitch only the second no-hitter in Major League Baseball postseason history, the other being Don Larson's perfect game in the 56 World Series. To date, there's only 3. The Phillies have been involved in 2 of them. The third coming in game 4 of the 2022 World Series, when the Astros had a combined no-hitter against the Phillies. Chooch was behind the plate that day, caught the second of his Major League Baseball record 4 no-hitters. But Halladay, when I say it was a legendary performance, obviously pitching a no-hitter in your first ever postseason start to open up the playoffs that year for the team that had World Series aspirations, that's legendary enough. But at the plate that day, he went 1 for 3 with an RBI and a run score, becoming the first pitcher to out-hit his opponents in a postseason game. So Roy Halladay had more hits than the Cincinnati Reds on this day. Shane Victorino was the star for the Phillies at the plate, went 2 for 4, 2 RBI, and a run score. Phillies winning it 4-0. They only had 5 hits that game, and ultimately we should have known that, even going back to that team, the team, when the bats go cold, they go cold, but they were cold during that postseason. They were able to power through with the Reds, but they got caught up to them when they played the Giants, losing 4-2 in the NLCS. But on this day, back in 2010, Roy Halladay with the no-hitter in Game 1 of the 2010 NLDS, it was only the second postseason no-hitter in Major League Baseball history. There have only been 3 to this date. Helped himself at the plate. Phils won 4-0. They swept the Reds in that NLDS, like I said, before losing to the Giants in the NLCS. And while we're on the great games in Phillies postseason history, we talked about Game 1 of the 93 NLCS, the Kim Batiste game where he made the throwing error but made up for it in the 10th. That also happened on this day back in 1993. So hopefully all of this to bring the Phillies some good luck. So we had 93 Game 1 of the NLCS. Phillies won. Game 1 of the 2010 NLDS. Roy Halladay pitched a no-hitter. I mean, and we would have been talking about Zack Wheeler's performance in the same breath as Roy Halladay, I'm sure, if the Phillies would have found a way to win that game. It's not over yet. keep the positive vibes flowing, and let's see what we can do. Be sure to call or text me on the Back to the Future voice or text line and let me know if you think the Phillies will bounce back. Get anything else Philly sports related off your chest. It's Eagles bye week. We're conditioned to start bitching about the Eagles right now. So if you want to call and just bitch about the Eagles, by all means, do it. If you want to get your frustration and just scream about the Phillies, that's fair game too. But I think they bounce back. I think we're going to see an offensive explosion. I think we're going to see Christopher Sanchez throw 6 solid innings, maybe even 7. I just feel as though they're going to snap out of this. I see like an 8-2, 8-1 type game. We go to New York. We're feeling better. And then we can just breathe. All right. This has been This Day in Philly Sports History for October 6, 2024. My name is Jim Montgomery. Have yourselves a Sunday. Go Phils. And until next time, I'll see you when I see you.